Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start this episode off the same way we start every episode off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million things with your time, and the fact that you spend it with us truly does mean the world to me. So thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cutting me, loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
Okay, and we're back. All right, I'm excited about today's guest. A bunch of our guests recently actually have fallen into this category. Somebody I don't know, so I love meeting new people. So as you guys know, I don't introduce my guests because they can do a better job at that than myself. So can you please tell everybody at home who you are and what you're about?
Sure. So my name's Mara Hayward, and I'm the Youth Network Manager here in Fort McMurray.
Okay, so what does that mean? Youth Network Manager.
The Youth Network is something that's actually fairly new here in our community.
Okay.
So we operate out of the back of Canadian Mental Health Association.
Where's that?
Downtown, like by Service Canada, kind of behind Cora's there.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Canadian Mental Health Association there is right there in the corner, and we operate out of the back, like I said. So basically what the Youth Network is a new kind of system here in Fort McMurray, and that's my job, is to bring it in. I guess it started because there's a lack of a mental health care system in our country.
Okay.
So to bring that down to the community and really collaborate with clinical and non-clinical supports for youth and how they access those and how we can reduce the barriers in them accessing that mental health care.
Okay. And so what would categorize you as a youth? What's the age range for that?
It's pretty large. So 12 to 24.
12 to 24. If you're 24, you're still a youth?
I don't know. I'm 30. Sometimes I still feel like a youth.
There we go. Okay, that's great.
I'm very surprised to hear you say that. Like, you don't act like a child consistently.
Oh, I'm a child, but I don't think anybody would like classify me as a youth in regards to like on paper.
Yeah. So the way it comes from is that so when you hit 18, all of a sudden you're considered an adult.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
But realistically, you're not. So, but your access to different types of care switches immensely at 18. So we did it up to 24, so then we can help them transition into those adult services.
That's phenomenal. Yeah. I think that's great because like Tanner is alluding to, and not very well alluding, I'm a child and I'm in my late 30s, but like on paper, like I'm an adult, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think you just nailed it. Like at that weird age range, yeah, you're considered an adult, but realistically, like you're still a child.
Yeah, and I mean 18. I mean, say you're going to like pediatrics, now you're going to adult services with people up to 85.
That's right.
Right, so you can feel really intimidated.
Yeah.
So we want to help youth be able to transition into that kind of adulthood and accessing those adult services.
Okay. Now, what type of services do you offer?
So a big service that we offer is called system navigation. Okay. So we have a system navigator on staff, and so what she does is she would meet with youth and families when appropriate, and she would help them with even the basics of like mental health literacy. So what is available in our community. Okay. Right? But really keeping the autonomy of the youth. So when I say that, what I mean is we really want to focus on what the youth wants to focus on.
Right.
So, and then getting resources that they feel is most appropriate for them. And then if that resource isn't the most appropriate, well, then they can come back, we'll have a conversation and try and find something new.
Okay. So that's great. So you might not supply all of the services in-house, but you're more than equipped to say like, hey, I know these services, I know the paperwork, I may even know the individual there. Let me help you navigate these waters because like sometimes it's not just one. You might be utilizing 3 different services for a bunch of different things.
And so helping them, and walking that path with them because, as you said, with the paperwork, with referral forms, I mean, like it can be really overwhelming as an adult or a youth.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Our system navigator will help with those pieces.
Okay, cool. And so outside of that service, what else do you guys do down there?
So a big thing that we do, or I guess a big thing about my job is always going to be, reducing the stigma around mental health is going to be important.
Okay.
Whether that's us, going to community events, promoting who we are, and, and what we do and how we can help.
Okay.
A big piece that really helps me with that is I have a youth advisory council. So another big thing about the youth network is we want it to be youth-centered and we want to build it with youth and not for youth.
Okay.
Because oftentimes we come in as professionals with these super great ideas,
yeah.
and youth are left out of it, and they're just like, no, like, not cool.
That's right.
So it takes a while to build that relationship, with younger people. But I've had my youth advisory council for a little over a year, and a really big thing happened. So they were like, Mara, no offense, but. And I was like, okay, we got to that point. Like, we're there, because like there's that power authority when you're older than someone, or you're seen as a professional, and you really want their input, and you want it to be authentic and to get to that point. So I was like, if they're prepared to offend me, like we've kind of reached it, which was cool. So our youth advisory council, they basically have input on everything that we do. They could be like, oh, hey, Mary, like this event is cool, or like why don't we try this in the schools.
Right.
XYZ, like there's a bunch of things that those people tell me.
That's cool. You want to say?
Yeah, I just relate to that hard of like not being taken seriously because of my age.
Yeah.
And actually being able to do things quite seriously.
That's right. So not here though.
Yeah, it's not here though. No, absolutely not here.
Tanner's not even the youngest employee.
It's the exact opposite here. I shut up so my things don't happen.
Yeah. Tanner made the mistake of when we first started working together. He had some ideas, and they were good ideas. I'm like, dude, those are some good ideas. Get to work. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean? I'm like, hey, you bring a good idea to the table. It's not my idea. Like, I like it. I think it'll make a positive impact. Get to work. And so now Tanner's very selective of the ideas that he tells me. Because if it's a good idea, hey, go with it.
Yeah, I have lots of good ideas, but then I'm like, ooh, that might involve me doing more work, so I'm just not going to pitch that.
Right.
And I tell him that, and then he gets mad because he wants to hear the idea.
I want to hear the idea. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's good to like listen to you, especially if you're trying to communicate with them. I find like as an adult, you're like, oh, well, this is how I would broadcast my message, but that's not how they're even willing to receive it. So that's who you're trying to talk to.
Yeah, I had some big lessons to learn. Facebook's not cool.
Yeah.
Instagram is.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Snapchat. But, I do have, like, as much... I have to...
Yeah, you got to stay with...
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like Snapchat. TikTok is somewhere where I haven't ventured, which I know. I've had a lot of pressure, but I'm like...
Yeah. Get ready for hours of your life to be taken away from you once you get on TikTok.
Right. So, like, I have the
crazy
app.
Addictive. Yeah.
But, like, am I really the person to make the videos?
No, you could get some of your team to make some stuff for you. Right?
Isn't that what you have a youth council for?
That's right. Get them then that's what I would say.
If they're, I've learned this lesson. If they are pitching that idea, you make them do it themselves.
That's right.
No, I would
Hence
never.
the Mac City Minute. Yeah, that was Tanner's brainchild. Okay, if you want to do it. So, but yeah, certain social medias, I own a social media marketing company, and how youth use these platforms is completely different than how we use them. Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't have them working with and around you, you would have no idea. No. Like I go into schools when we used to be able to go into schools, and I'd say like, okay, kids, how many people in this room have like 3 Instagram accounts? And then I was like, how many people have 5? And like the hands would still be up. And like the parents and the adults would be like, what is going on? And then the youth would be like, shut the heck up. But I'm like, yeah, they don't use it like how old people use it. Like we think when they're on Snapchat, you're wasting time because we waste time on this app as an adult. But I'm like, they use it as communication tools, and they have groups that like they're able to communicate so much better than we ever could think about. So when they're on there, they're not wasting time like we waste time. But
no, and speaking to that, like, so I have like an Instagram page, YouthHub_WB.
Yeah, there you go.
If you want to follow.
Yeah.
So I follow a bunch of youth in our community, and like they are so politically active. Like from an adult standpoint, like the person I was when I was 17, like no, I wasn't politically active. I was like, what's that mean, student council?
Yeah,
like, you know
that's
what I
right.
mean?
That's
like,
exactly it.
And so these kids are like, they're so active, and like Black History Month coming up, and like promoting mental health, and like
it's currently Black History Month, actually.
Yeah.
And like just reducing that stigma, and like reaching out to like their friends and saying it's okay, and I'm like, like
they're crazy.
Oh my gosh,
they're
like,
way
I'm
better
like busting with pride for like these like youth that I don't even know.
That's
like,
right. Yeah. So they're cool. It's good to have them around. Speaking of youth, one of Tanner's brainchilds, which now turned into a piece of his daily routine, is called the Mac City Minute. It's his segment, his idea. So he's got some questions for you. I don't know what he's going to ask, so I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Tanner, hit her with the Mac City Minute.
We use the term daily routine lately here.
Yeah, facts.
Question number 1 for you today. What is your favorite part of being able to help youth with their mental health?
I think my favorite part is to watch youth succeed in their goals of what their mental health goals are and become more confident and in their daily life.
Question number 2. What is the most rewarding part of helping people within Fort McMurray for you?
Ask me again.
What is the most rewarding part of helping people within Fort McMurray for you?
Oh my gosh, this community has been through so much, and like the fact that they're even able to reach out for that help, and I hate to use the word resilient because you don't always have to be resilient, but the fact that they're reaching out, for that help, and the way that people work together here in this community, probably because of the tragedies that have happened, fire, floods, and lots more, is probably, yeah.
There you go.
Question number 3. What is one thing you took from your own journey with mental health as a youth that you use to help others in your current job?
Oh, tough one. I think I think an important piece is being taken seriously, which we've kind of already touched upon. It's oftentimes, when you're younger, like, oh, you'll grow up, or you'll grow out of it, or it'll be okay. You don't know anything, and you do. You're a person, and your reality is your reality, and that has to be taken as truth there, and to help people where they're at.
Question number 4. What is something you've learned about yourself from helping the youth within Fort McMurray?
What is something I've learned about myself? That I have a lot to learn.
There you go.
That's something that I've learned, is that I have a lot to learn. Yeah.
And your final question. What is one thing you think Fort McMurray offers youth that they couldn't get in other places?
Oh gosh, there are so many people that are committed to youth mental health in this community, and sometimes I know it comes off, it's like, we need more mental health resources, and I think every community is like that, but the people that I've met and my colleagues and my community partners are really devoted. And if there's a youth who, if you're experiencing something and you're watching this, either reach out to me or reach out to a trusted adult, because there is so many people on the ground that will do their very best to help the situation that you're in.
And those have been your 5 questions.
There you go. Killing it, Tanner. Good segment. So my question for you is, how long have you been in the community for?
I've been in the community about 2.5 years.
Okay. So, wow. Okay. So why did you come here? Where did you come from? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was a bunch of places. So I'm originally from Newfoundland.
Okay. What part of Newfoundland?
The East Coast. So like around St. John's, just at Paradise is the place that it's called.
Okay. Cool. I spent a lot of time in the East Coast. That's why I asked.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So St. John's is super near.
Okay.
So I was there, and then I was in Manitoba for a little while. Then I was like back in Newfoundland. Then I was in Toronto for a little while, and now I'm out here. But I'd like to think that like every little thing that I did kind of led me to where I am. I think everything was a learning experience, and trying to figure out like where my niche was.
Okay.
I came to Fort McMurray in the hopes that, I'll be honest, I was going south. So I came here with Alberta Health Services. They're provincial health. So it's like, okay, I'll put my couple of years in, get a little bit of seniority, and I'm going down to like Edmonton or Calgary. Just coming from Toronto, I'm like, no, I'm a city girl now.
That's right. right. Yeah.
Yeah. I got here and I was like, oh wow, I'm like, this is the closest I felt to home without being home. And within just a couple of months, I'm like, no, like I'm not leaving.
That's awesome.
And like I have no desire. I mean, to visit. Yeah, of course, I want to go to the mountains and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm content where I am.
That's very cool. So this position that you find yourself in, it's part of Alberta Health Services?
No, that was when
That's when you first came. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, okay, gotcha.
So this position I'm in is actually pretty cool. So the government of Alberta is actually funding 11 rural communities to introduce youth hubs.
Okay.
I call ours here the Youth Network,
Right.
because there is an organization that uses language similar. It's called the Hub. Well,
Yeah.
Right. So then to have the Youth Hub, there was a little bit of confusion.
That's right.
So we renamed to the Youth Network.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what it is. The government of Alberta has, I think it was announced in June.
Okay.
$7 million over 2 years.
Okay.
For, youth hubs in our province.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we got that funding here in Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
And it was started, I think it started kind of in 2019, and there was, nonprofits, so there was a lapse in funding. Then we got it back for like a few months, and so now we're set until 2023, which is
Right. Awesome. Well, definitely something needed, especially in today's climate. mental health issues are a thing, right? Like I was just chatting with a friend of mine, and her son just tested positive for COVID. Young guy, like only like 10, 11 years old, but the rest of the family doesn't have it. And so now he's quarantined in his room for the next 10 days. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, she's like, yeah, but there's going to be some lingering effects that does to a kid. Totally. And so if they can like have a resource to like chat with and like say, hey, this, that, it's a thing.
And it's been hard to kind of promote ourselves in the community to an extent because of COVID. I mean, it's just it's never ending. It's hard. We can't get into schools, but just understand, like, no, not placing any blame on the schools. That's just the climate that we're in. But yeah, even in situations like that, where even as adults, so you can imagine as youth how weird it feels the first time you were back in a crowd, or like the first time like you did this, and now like we're almost like we do like one social thing, or maybe I'm old, I don't know. Yeah. I do like one social thing a week, and I'm like, oh, like
that's right,
over it.
Yeah, that's right.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So figuring out those new pieces when we do open up is going to be very interesting in the mental health world as well.
No doubt. So how can people find you guys, and how can they get in contact?
Totally. So you can refer a friend if they're open to it, or a family member, or you can self-refer. So we try to be as open as possible. So our office is closed, but it is open by request.
Okay.
So if you want to meet in person, you can meet in person. Our space looks pretty cool. We got like hammocks, beanbag chairs. The youth helped me design it, so it's youth designed, and it's a safe space. So we can meet there to chat one-on-one. We can do a phone call. We can do Zoom. We can do over text. How you will contact us is either you can email me at youthhub@woodbuffalo.cmha.ab.ca.
Okay.
That's long. Or you can just DM me youthhub_WB on Instagram.
Okay.
We also have a Facebook page that's called Integrated Youth Network Wood Buffalo.
Right.
And then so our systems navigator, who I'd like to do a plug for, she's the one who would do that one-on-one. Her name's Angela. She's been in our community for a long time. She is super experienced, and she's definitely there to be able to help.
That's awesome. Yeah. Good. So like people can definitely get in contact with you across the board, and hopefully in the next few weeks, months, so on and so forth, they convince you to get on TikTok.
Yeah, we'll see. Now, if you do, there's a TikTok, but you can just message there. I can't.
Good. So you do have just because you're not creating it.
Yeah, we're not creating. At least you're there. Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, I'll have to follow up and let you know exactly. There's so many little handles.
That's okay. No worries. So you guys are on TikTok. Well,
technically, I suppose.
Technically. Get them to make the video.
I know, but then you say, I'm like, if youth is not sending, like they volunteer their time to me, they give their input. It's just, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not expected.
But what you have to realize is that you don't want to be on TikTok. You don't want to put your face out there. You don't want to be that voice. This generation is fighting for that chance. Yeah. They all want to be a YouTube star, a TikTok star, a voice of something, and so they will jump at the opportunity to be a voice for something they're passionate about.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanner. You're right.
Yeah. No, real talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Ask them. It's crazy when because I used to do a daily vlog before I started to do this. And so I had like the vlogging camera, like you have the tripod, the camera, the mic on top. And as soon as I walked into a school, like with that gear, the kids would just be like, "Are you on YouTube? Can I be in your video?" And I was just like, no, because you're all underage and I don't have like signatures, but like all kids, and when I say all, it's generic or like it's broad, but the majority of kids want to be on YouTube, they want to be like internet famous. That's the thing. It is. If you're going to give them a platform and like it's a legitimate platform to talk on, dollars to donuts. They'll be like, "Yeah, thanks. Okay." So we have a young lady, her name will go unsaid, but she makes the memes for the Mac City Morning Show, and she's only 12. And
I like how you said that. Like I don't know her name. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, I know, but I said it for me. I almost let it slip what her name was. But yeah, she's only 12, and she makes the memes before every episode, like leading up to them going out. Listen, if you ask the kids, they'll want to do it. So
and the memes that the things that she does is significantly better than the adult we had doing it.
Yeah, significantly. Yeah. Anyways, listen, I got the watch tap. That means we've already talked for our allotted amount of time. So time flies. So thank you for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Please feel free, if you have any events or anything going on in the future, come back again and again and again.
Awesome.
If you have any colleagues or even part of like your youth, like that council that you have, tell them to come on the show. It'll just help
Amazing.
promote the message even more.
Thank
So
you.
no worries. Now, before I cut you loose though, everybody gets a shameless shout out or plug. So you have the lights, the cameras, and the mic. Have fun.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah. Shameless shout out or plug. Anybody. Could be it. We've had everything from businesses to moms to husbands to pets, you name it.
To somebody shouted out their car.
That's right.
So
That's right.
Who am I shouting at? I am shouting at Canadian Mental Health Association for all the good work that they do and continue to do in our community, and for allowing me to be part of that day after day.
There we go. Great shout out. All right. Well, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world, that's been another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. It does mean the world to me. I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.